Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie, and once again, I welcome you to the online open lecture. And we started with the previous ones on definition of MarTech and then on the trends of MarTech. But today, I would like to cover a very important topic within the frames of MarTech, which is AI, so artificial intelligence. Indeed, we all have our own opinions on whether we actually need artificial intelligence, whether it's scary or a very nice, good potential for us to move forward and be much more efficient, or at the same time, it's something that raises a lot of ethical questions and what are we supposed to do actually if it exceeds any sort of expectations, right? But in the same in any case, this lecture today is dedicated to familiarizing you with some broad aspects and just giving you the directions on what AI is and how it can be applied to MarTech and in what kind of broad way for us to path for our path towards the more detailed definitions and cases in other online lectures. So without further ado, let's start with the slide on why am I here with you and why am I telling you all of that. So after 12 years of teaching and studying, I decided to have this initiative of sharing with you what I know so far, especially for those who are not yet familiar with all of that. So if it's helpful for you, I'll be happy. And I already introduced myself in the first lecture, so you can just go through the major things and go through the QR codes to see more details. And let's move on to the like interesting part. So the title of today's lecture is MarTech and AI, but we know what MarTech is, right? We know it from our first online lecture. And let me remind you once again that MarTech applies to major initiatives, efforts, and tools that harness technology to achieve marketing goals and objectives. So as you can see, we have good old marketing goals and objectives, which could be exemplified by brand awareness, increased customer retention, right? Increased sales and all that. And we have currently nowadays tools that help us to use all the parts of technology, all the efforts that they are to get much closer to the goal of marketing in current era of being customer centric. So this customer centricity is very well fueled by the possibilities of technology to accumulate this data. So, but we have technology, we call it different ways. We call it AI, but what it is exactly. To be completely honest, even if we have, for example, I already have the first impression or the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about artificial intelligence is Alan Turing. But in fact, this particular term was used as a term itself by John McCarthy in 1956, and that started the discipline, the field in computer science called artificial intelligence. But the major problem with artificial intelligence nowadays, after its rapid growth, is that we don't really know how to define it properly. And we have numerous applications and specificities. And there are two ways actually to address this issue of these ambiguous approaches to defining this term. So first of all, we can untangle a particular situation, a particular tool, a particular industry, and define AI for that based on the tool that we use. And also we can categorize the definitions. It is much more of an academic approach, but nevertheless, it's also valid for any other types of work and operations, is that we can use different types of definitions of the AI based on tools, applications, and how they behave. So, for example, we have here a source where 8 prominent definitions were categorized into 4 dimensions: thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. As you can see, we have this concept of human, and intelligence embedded in that, because it's something of sort of imitating what we would do, but based um, on much more data available to it and much quicker possibilities for it to learn and forecast. And if we, for example, take the definition by IBM, it defines artificial intelligence as the technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence and problem solving capabilities. So, definitely, AI is rooted in understanding the human nature, the human way of thinking, in order for it to learn how to imitate this human thinking, and how it can certainly be applied to the problem solving, which would be, facilitated as a human, but facilitated by the large amount of data, big amount of data that we have currently. And this definition helps us from the marketing perspective to understand that we, as usual, are rooted in customers, in understanding what they do, what they feel like doing, right? And using the data that they leave behind, like in this sort of digital path that they have, the behavioral patterns that can be established by a lot of pinpointing of their decision making points, which helps us to see customers as individualistic as possible. And this approach is valuable, right, through the examples of AI related terms and concepts and platforms. So for example, we have digital assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. So even you use them or not, they're much more easy to be understood as the chatbots, right? They have this dialogue based communication with us, but they are much more advanced and complex than that. For example, they can certainly understand what we say, and they can create and they can make something in offline. For example, switch on the light in your room if you tell the digital assistant to switch on the light, or they can make an appointment for you, so they can understand what you're saying. They can understand what they have to do, and they actually do it. And that's why it becomes also quite interesting, because when there's this communication with the customer, when this is like a dialogue based approach, this helps the marketers to understand the ways of the customer could communicate and could work on what are the needs of the customers. Of course, there are plenty of ethical considerations. We're going to cover them later, but nevertheless, this is the reality. Generative AI tools, and of course, I think pretty much everyone heard about the Chat GPT, but this is not the only representative of the generative AI tools. And in marketing, the generative AI tools are used to create content or to change it in some way, but generally, this is something in a way that something is created out of the existence something. So it is generated based on the data that is fed to the algorithms and based on the prompts. So these prompts are something like a written form of what the user actually wants from the machine, and then the outcome and results would be the text or the digital thing, like the image or video or something. And but in the majority, this is a text like bullet points or the ideas or generations of the ideas or something like that. Of course, the extent to how much you can actually trust the machine to make the proper content for you and properly set for you the timeline of posting of something, of some advertising, or select the platforms that would be much more useful for you at, for example, Meta platform, to be much more efficient with your budgeting. I mean, it's still a question, but nevertheless, this is the clear application. So these are two, the front end, let's call it that way, use of AI. At the same time, we also have concepts like natural language processing, natural language generation, large language models. So these terms are very closely related to the platforms that are and tools that I just mentioned, because they're initially and directly focused on the conversations, on the textual data, on how it can be entangled and not only understood in a way the machine can understand, but also used for the other use, for example, marketing use as well. And of course, there are additionally two terms associated with artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is a umbrella term for these two. So we have machine learning, and we also have deep learning. And machine learning can be also broken down into supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement. All these three categories, to different extent, are used in marketing. If you're interested to learning a little bit more details, please leave me a comment and I'll dedicate an additional short online lecture to that. And we also have deep learning, which is based on the neural networks. And this is very prominent trend of the research and development nowadays. Let's see where this leads us. And all of that is a foundation for the rights protection, the data protection approaches. And in that regards, we're also going to cover the legal rights, which are used to and which are developed for the companies or for everyone who uses the data for that to be more reliable in terms of marketing as well. But nevertheless, I don't really want to be, just speaking and telling you things. I wanted to show you the example. So, for example, so Amazon is one of the most prominent user of AI in retail, and it's been for, I don't know, decades. And for example, I'm going to invite you and to the other online lecture. We're going to go through the MarTech elements of their interface, but here we can focus on AI. So if I'm logged out right now from the system, but nevertheless, if we consider it like with the prior behavior and all of that, this system learns about everything we feed to it. So, but let me give you an example of the paper that Amazon itself decided to publish. So it's of January 2024, like a couple of months ago, and it's about how Amazon Fashion is using AI to help you find the perfect fit. And we have here in the article, and they utilize these four approaches, um, four four approaches, which are personalized size recommendations, review highlights, reimagined size charts, and fit insights. So as you can see, they accumulate the data which exists on the website, which has been accumulating for many years in such a large magnitude, it's just almost incomprehensible. So as you can see here, we have descriptions of all of them. I will drop this link at the end of the video and also at the post. So they, as you can see here on the image, they immediately show the better fit and the better size if the person has been purchasing something at the platform for several times. Also, they can identify the reviews here. A lot of reviews that can, be structured and summarized in just a short paragraph, which helps to identify what could be the problems with the fit and how they can reduce these returns and all of that. There are a lot of marketing and business implications of these AI tools, but nevertheless, this is something how AI with the natural language processing, large language models, and natural language generation actually does all of that all together, and this is how it's used in practice. So it's about how you can certainly understand the sizes and all of that. So it's dedicated to all of that. So not to really get into much more details in that, this is majorly what I wanted to say, to just, get this little touch upon what AI is and how it can be used for MarTech. We are certainly going to untangle it tool by tool, concept by concept in the future online videos, online lectures. So if you'd like to join me for the future ones, please follow the links which are provided through these QR codes and also in the descriptions. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I love this topic. I'm really fascinated about that. So if you'd like to discuss something with me, please write me directly. Also, I invite you to the further open lectures, to the Mart Talks, which is a very nice concept which I decided to be a host for. So this is about the conversation, the speaking clubs, where you can discuss what is interesting for you based on the topics which we cover, and also it's a nice way for you to learn to improve your English and to learn about other people's opinions and just dive deeper into this fascinating field. And also, MarTech Guide is something that I have created as a digital guide, which is based on the experience and knowledge that I've collected throughout these 12 years of my experience. And I tried it to be much more applicable for anyone who is just beginning or who wants to um, change the careers or who wants to just have the set of overall understanding of what to learn, when to learn, where to learn in MarTech. So if you're interested in that, please also see the QR code or the link directly in the description. So thank you very much. Have a very nice day. See you in the future videos. I really hope it was useful for you. So it was Maggie and see you in other videos. Nahomdis.